So welcome to the Gentle class today, and today our theme is from the Yoga Sutras, as it has been and will be for this whole session. And the Yoga Sutras has a foundational philosophy that kind of often compared to the Ten Commandments, because they have to do with how we treat ourselves and how we treat each other. And the very first principle, the foundational principle, is nonviolence. And I've been thinking a lot about nonviolence lately because during this lockdown, my go-to mood or emotion that tends to get triggered is anger. So if I get frustrated or sad about something, it tends to go to anger fairly quickly. And I really want to be clear that when we talk about nonviolence, it's not about not having challenging feelings or having angry feelings or frustrated feelings. And it isn't even about being perfect, right, and getting all of that just right. It's really about allowing our feelings to have their space and have their voice so that we don't have to act them out so much, right, ideally. And then when we do mess up and we do have a temper tantrum like a 2-year-old, because you've probably been there too, that we can forgive ourselves, right? So that we don't pile more shame and guilt upon ourselves for having whatever feelings that we are having. There's a wonderful book called Nonviolent Communication, and it's about how we listen and ask questions and take ownership for our part of the communication. So it's more in that vein, right? That we listen to one another, we listen to ourselves, we allow whatever feelings are present to be present, and we give them space, because if we push them down, they're just going to rise up even stronger when we least want them to, when it's least convenient. And so having a way of getting in touch with our feelings, getting in touch with our mood, and forgiving ourselves when we aren't behaving from our best and highest place. So that's really the foundation. Can we be kind to ourselves? The way that we can practice this in a yoga class is to not force our bodies. So if I suggest something and your body says no, don't say, come on, stupid body, you can do this. Say, you know, body, I love you, and whatever you're able to do is great. And then comparing ourselves. Can we compare ourselves, or can we not compare ourselves, first of all, and have compassion for where we're at and acceptance for where we're at, and then the stories that we tell ourselves. So I know I've been in yoga class where I'm looking at the person next to me and I'm either judging them or I'm judging myself in comparison to them. We're a little different because we're all at home right now, but we could still have that idea, I should be able to do this. Why is my body not cooperating? Those sorts of things really easily come up for people when they practice. So I really invite you to listen to yourself talk today and to be as kind to yourself as possible. We'll try and align our intention with that today. And then if you do catch yourself with something unkind or ungenerous, some thought towards yourself or someone else, can you have compassion? Can you have forgiveness? Can you find some lightness in there? So that's where we're going today. And we're going to start lying down and do our check-in lying down. So you can get yourselves comfortable on your mats and I'll meet you there. So go ahead and lie down however is comfortable for you. And if you find it helpful, you might bring your hands onto your body somewhere where you can feel your breath. But if you prefer to have the hands on the ground, that's totally fine. And let's take a moment to tune into the environment around you. So notice what you can hear in the space around you. Listening for the obvious sounds, like my voice. And then the more subtle sounds, the quieter sounds that you might not notice. And then start to tune into where you physically meet the environments, where your physical body meets the environment. So you might feel air on your skin or clothing on your skin. You might feel the weight of your body on the ground, the pressure between your body and the ground. So feeling the periphery, the edges of your body where it meets the environment. Maybe it's cool or warm where you are. Notice that temperature on your skin. And then start to shift your awareness more internally. Notice how your body feels inside. Are you aware of any sensations in your muscles or organs or your bones? And these sensations may be pleasant or unpleasant, and I invite you to simply notice what's there for you without judgment if possible. So if you're just joining the class, we're lying down and checking in. Starting to tune in now to the breath. So without changing the breath at all, notice how the breath moves your body, how the body moves with the breath. And then start to tune into the rhythms of your mind. Is your mind a busy place today? Are the waves choppy and fast? Is it a more calm place, like a pool of water that's still? Or maybe it's a pool of water that's been still for so long it feels kind of stagnant, maybe sleepy or sluggish. So without judgment, noticing your state of mind. What kinds of thoughts pull your attention when you let your mind wander? And then I invite you to tune into your mood or emotions, whatever might be present for you right now. So you may have strong emotions moving through you. You may not be aware of any emotions. You might feel numb or disconnected. So without judgment, see what's present for you. And again, if you don't feel much, that's perfectly normal too. And then take a few deeper breaths, just letting all of that go. And then from lying down on your back, you're going to take the arms wide to the sides. Reach out with your fingertips and feel a sense of a long line of energy from one hand to the other, going right through your heart. As you breathe, you're extending that line from your heart to your fingertips and reaching out beyond your fingertips. Great. And then let's slowly lift the arms up over the body so the palms are coming towards each other. And you'll bring the palms together. And then bring the hands down as if you're coming into prayer position on your back with the palms in front of the chest. And take a moment here to create your own intention for the class. If this position's uncomfortable, you can bring the hands over the heart, flat on the body, or over the belly if that's more comfortable. So we're aligning our intentions here. So our theme today is nonviolence. It doesn't mean that we won't have uncomfortable thoughts or feelings, but that we don't beat ourselves up for them. We simply let them pass through now or not in the class at some other point, that we can allow those challenging feelings to pass through without beating ourselves up or wishing it were somehow different. And for you, how might you align that theme for yourself today? What would that look like for you? Perhaps there's a particular way that you would like to interact with this theme. And then again, let's take the arms and lift them up, spread them slowly out to the sides. Take a breath in and reach the fingers wide. And as you exhale, it's like you're gathering all of that energy and crossing the arms over your chest. Give yourself a hug, squeezing gently in. Making the commitment to be kind to yourself through this class. Opening the arms wide again, breathing in. As you exhale, cross the arms the other way over the chest. Give yourself a hug again. And then again, taking the arms wide. Big breath in, and this time when we lift the arms, we'll lift them up towards the ceiling, keeping them parallel to one another over the chest. And reach up with a breath in. And exhale, soften the shoulders toward the ground. Reach up. Exhale, let the shoulders sink. A couple more like that. Great. And then with the arms up in the air, we'll bend the elbows and bring the hands to opposite elbows. And take the elbows side to side. So both elbows going one way, back to center, and then the other way. Part of this theme of nonviolence is really tuning into our own bodies and acknowledging where our limits are and not forcing our bodies to move in ways or into positions that really don't work for us. So yoga is not about creating the perfect form, but about being present with ourselves, being kind to ourselves, listening, non-judgmentally. Right, coming back to the center. Let's release the arms up towards the ceiling again, spread the fingers wide and circle your wrists around. And then circle the other way. And then make fists with your hands and do a few circles with your hands in fists. And then give the arms a shake. And we'll slowly let the arms come down to the sides by the hips, palms facing the ground. Take a moment to notice the energy and sensations in your arms. And then we're going to lift the arms straight up, move slowly, bringing them behind you toward the floor. You can bend the elbows or move them to the sides. And our point here is to really honor our shoulders and not go too far. So when you reach your first level of restriction, you'll reverse and come back down. So your arms may come overhead, they may come to the floor, or they might stop somewhere along the line where your shoulders say that's enough. Can you honor your shoulders without creating any story about where they should or could be, where they were in the past? A couple more here. Great, and then next time your arms come down to your sides, you can leave them there. And then we'll bring both knees up in towards the body. You can bring one hand to each knee. And again, your knees may come close to your body. They may not come very close at all. You may struggle just to take a hold of your knees. So whatever movement is available to you here, drawing the knees towards you a little bit, moving the knees away from you a little bit. Right, so it could be a slightly bigger movement depending on what's restricted for you, or it could be a very small movement. You might choose some little circles if that feels good for your low back. Moving in one direction if you're circling, and then try circling the other way as well. See how that works for you. Right, and then let's come back to the center. Give the knees a squeeze in towards you. Again, it doesn't matter how close they come. You'll feel the restriction, the compression, and maybe a little stretch. And then see about bringing one foot to the floor. And if it's comfortable for you, you can stretch that leg straight out, drawing in with one leg, pressing out with the other, and noticing how this feels for your hips. Again, you might need that upper leg to be a little further away from your body, or it may feel good to hug it in close. And then let's bring both knees back into the chest, and we'll release the other leg. If it's comfortable, extend that leg out on the ground and find the position that works for you here for a few breaths. Pressing out with the foot on the ground, drawing in gently with the leg in toward the chest, and breathing. And then let's bring both knees up in toward the chest again and make some circles. So we'll take the knees apart this time, circle them in towards each other. And again, circling the knees, big circles, small circles, whatever's available to you. Right. And then we'll bring both feet to the floor. Stretch one leg out again. And this time stretch the same arm up overhead or to the side. So we're relaxing one side of the body, stretching out with the other side of the body. And again, honoring your shoulders and hips and what you've discovered in the last few movements to find the position that's most comfortable for you. So the arm could be in the air, could be bent on the ground, it could be out to the side. Great, and then we'll switch sides. So we'll bend the straight leg and bring the arm down and stretch out the other side, reaching, breathing, letting go of judgment. Right, and then let's bring that hand back down, bend the knee again. And we'll take both arms out to the sides. They can rest on the floor a little lower than shoulder height. And we'll work with the twist, working with the lower body. So knees going one way, any amount, so it could be part way to the ground or all the way to the ground, and then back to center, and then the other way. And back to center. Here you could coordinate your breath if you like. So you'd exhale as the knees go to the side. Inhale as they come to the center. Exhale to go the other way. Inhale, center. Continue at your own pace. If it feels good for your neck, you can roll it the opposite way of your knees so the head turns one way as the knees go the other. And then eventually making your way back to the center and to bring the spine back into alignment. We'll bring the knees up toward the chest again. So here, if you do have a hard time actually getting much movement here, you could always use a belt, but it's good to hold the knees because as soon as you let go, you're using your stomach muscles. So even if it's just a little movement forward and back, that's great. It could be a little side to side or circling movement. And then eventually bringing the feet back to the floor. We're going to roll over onto one side to make our transition nice and easeful. You can use your opposite hand against the ground to help support you, to lift you upright. And when you come up, you can come up to sit. Support yourself behind you with your hands. Stretch your legs out. Give them a little shake. And even though you're supporting yourself with your hands, try not to slump. So try to sit up tall. And I'm not sure if my feet are visible in the screen, but I'm doing this windshield wipers with my feet, going side to side. And that movement's coming all the way from my hips. Great. And then give the legs a nice shake. And we're going to make our way to stand, so you can get there whatever way is easiest for you. Just taking your time as we shift positions. We want to move slowly so we don't get lightheaded or dizzy. So coming up to stand in mountain pose, or Tadasana is the Sanskrit. And we'll take the feet a little bit apart and we'll keep warming up the body. So doing lots of easy movements to get the joints lubricated. So in this one, we'll start with one shoulder going back and then the other shoulder. And you can continue like that. And then maybe make the movement a little bigger. So let the elbow lift and go back. And if that feels okay and your shoulders want a little more, you could try full arm rotation. Let the body twist, knees stay soft. Great. And then let's come back to the neutral starting position and we'll roll the other way. So you can start with just your shoulders and the body and the head. And then maybe the elbows get in to the party. And then maybe the whole arm goes. So again, whatever is most comfortable for you. So maybe lifting the whole arm starts to strain the shoulders, then you'll stay with what feels best. And eventually coming back to our neutral position. And bringing the hands onto the hips. You can separate the feet a little more if you like. Nice, solid and strong stance. The knees are a bit soft. And then you can start with some little circles for the hips. And always really good to check in and notice. If there's any discomfort, you may need to modify, make your circle smaller, or avoid a certain area that feels uncomfortable. Sometimes when we do move the body, if there are injuries that we're recovering from, or arthritis or other issues, there may be a bit of discomfort in moving. And really checking with your doctor is the best option here to know, is this movement okay for my condition? Right? Sometimes a little bit of discomfort is required in order to move, and we can't not move. Let's come back to the center. But we don't want to force our bodies beyond our comfort zone. So there's this really fine line, and sometimes it feels a little gray in there. My advice is, if you're in doubt, do less, back off, find more ease rather than push, push, push. So with the feet still a little bit apart, we'll take one arm up, reach up on that side, press down into the foot on that side, but keep your knees a little soft so they're not locked. And we're going to reach down and over. We'll come up, we'll switch arms, reach up first, and then come over and a little down. So we're going to keep moving like this, coming up with a breath in, reaching over as you exhale. Switching arms as you breathe in, reaching over as you exhale. Go at your own pace. Your breath may be different from mine. So follow the breath rhythm that feels right for you. Sometimes if your breath is really short, you might find taking 2 breaths to do the movement is more comfortable than kind of rushing through with a shorter breath. Right, let's come back to the center. You can step your feet in towards each other, so they're about hip distance apart again. And we'll come into a forward bend. So we'll take the arms out, the palms forward, and lift the arms up with the breath in. As you exhale, bend your knees, come forward and let your head release. Coming up with the breath in. And if you want to go into a deeper forward bend and your body allows that, you could release your hands down further toward the ground or your ankles or wherever you can reach. And this time, when you come upright, stay upright and let the arms come down to your sides. So I mentioned one way of working in a yoga class with this theme of nonviolence is to notice the stories we tell ourselves, to not force our bodies. And I invited you to bring your hands to your heart earlier and create your own intention for the class. And we're going to come back to that now, sort of gathering our intention and restating it to ourselves. So if you take your arms out to the sides and start to lift as if you're aligning yourself with your own energy, bringing the hands together and down in front of the heart. And take a moment to connect again with your intention. Maybe your intention was to notice when you're unkind to yourself and to bring kind words in, or maybe to really be aware of when you force your body in any way. Whatever it is for you, take a moment. Restate that intention to yourself. Breathe it in. And then we'll take that intention and lift it. And then as you exhale, imagine your intention coming all around you like a shower. Bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers if you can reach, otherwise arms parallel behind you. Find a little bit of lift in the heart. The shoulders relax down and back. A nice big breath in, and as you exhale, bend your knees a little, slide forward any amount. You can Bring your hands or elbows to your thighs or reach toward the ground. Let your head really relax. And then we'll come all the way up, breathing in. Again, like we're gathering our intentions, our good energy, and bringing it back to the heart. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, like a rainbow or a shower all around you. Bringing the hands behind the back. We're not pinching or squeezing back, but finding a little lift in the heart. Breathing in here. Take as many extra breaths as you need. Bend your knees a little, slide forward. And again, let your head relax. Back of the neck long. Take another breath here. And then we'll come all the way up, breathing in. Gathering that energy, bringing it back to the heart. Breathing in here. And exhale to release your arms. Let's come back to that wider legged position into a little bit of a side bend again. We did this last week, this variation on Warrior 2. So with the feet wide, and how wide you take them is up to you. So the wider you take them, the more challenging the pose will be. One foot turns all the way out, and you'll bend that knee so that it lines up right over your ankle. The other foot can turn slightly in the same direction. It could be straight, slightly out. Really depends on what feels right for your hip, your ankle, your knee. Wherever the foot is, you want to think about pressing into both the inner and outer edge of the foot so there's even pressure down, and then arms out to the sides. So we won't hold Warrior 2 the way we did last week, but we'll do that same movement. So one hand's going to sweep down, palm up. The other one will sweep over, palm down. And then you'll come up and go the other way. So lower body stays in the same position. We're moving the upper body a little bit more side to side. Don't worry about how you're breathing, but do keep your breath moving. Find the ease and flow here as much as possible. It might look a little different on you than on me, and that's fine. Eventually, let's find our way back to Warrior 2. And you can lower the hand to the thigh, or if you feel comfortable enough to go a little further, you can lower the forearm to the thigh, or reach the other arm straight up, or bring it behind your back. If you bring it behind your back, your palm is facing away, and that puts your shoulder in a bit of internal rotation, puts a little more ease into the shoulder. If you want more stretch, arm could come overhead. As the arm comes overhead, you want to turn the palm toward the floor. One more breath here. We'll come all the way up. Back to Warrior 2. You're going to straighten your front leg and turn your feet parallel. Palms turn up. And we'll lift up with a breath in. Find that little bit of a lift in the heart. Bend your knees and sweep forward. Let your head release. Take a breath here. And then when you're ready with an inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale to release your arms down. Let's move it to the other side. So you take the foot, turn it all the way out, and bend the knee so it's straight over the ankle. Find the position that's comfortable for your other foot and evenly press into the inner and outer edges of your foot so that you're not twisting your ankle out or lifting the outer edge at all. So really nice and even. Arms to the sides. Breathing in. And then as you exhale, you can start to flow. And again, just let the breath move naturally. Don't worry about when to inhale and exhale so much here. Just finding your own rhythm, your own flow. We'll eventually find our way back to Warrior Two, so arms to the sides, and then we'll make it a side bend, Parsva Konasana, or the side angle pose. So the hand or the forearm can come down onto your thigh. You want to avoid twisting and turning forward. So if you try to bring your forearm down and that means you end up in more of a forward side bend rather than a straight side bend, try hand on the thigh instead. The other arm either straight up or back behind your back. Or again, if you want a little more stretch, you can take the arm overhead, palm would face the ground, and then you're drawing the shoulder blade down. So wherever you are with this arm on the leg, you want to make sure you're not locking the arm and jamming up your shoulder. So there's a sense of space in the neck and shoulder. When you're ready to come up, lift back up to Warrior Two. Turn your feet parallel to one another. Palms turn up. Breathing in as you lift up. Exhale, bend your knees, sweep forward. You can stop with hands on the legs or reaching for the floor. And we'll do that a few times. So you're gonna reach up with the breath in, flow forward. Try to keep the spine long as you come forward, releasing it right at the end. And then when you lift up, find length in your spine as you lift. So as much as possible, a nice flat back coming forward to the very end, and then finding that flat back as you lift. That's going to make your legs and your butt work a little bit more here than if we just round the back and roll up using just the muscles of the lower back. Right, this time when you come upright, stay up. Exhale and release your arms. And bring the feet in so that they're about hip distance apart. And for this next one, if you have a chair or a surface handy, you could use it, but you could also use your thighs to bring your hands to. So I'll bring my chair over and I'll show you both ways, and you can decide what's best for you given what you've got available. So without the chair, hands come to the knees, knees bend, and we're going to arch the back and round the back. So just like we might do kneeling in cat-cow, but as a standing pose. If you've got a chair, you can bring your hands to either side of the chair and do the same thing. So your shoulders line up over your wrists, feet underneath your hips, and you're arching as you inhale, rounding as you exhale. And then from there, we'll just roll back upright. Lift the shoulders and roll them back together now. Right, so the next few movements we'll do with the option of the chair or using your body to brace against. Either way is fine. So if you're using a chair, you want to be near the chair with one foot closer, one foot a little further back. So not such a wide stance, more like just a regular walking amount of space, as if you just took a step. Bend the front knee a little bit. Take a breath in, come up. Exhale, either bring your hands to your front knee or to your chair or surface. And again, we'll inhale, arch, exhale, round. Inhale, arch, exhale, round. If you want a little bit more stretch, and this is going to be easier if you've got a chair rather than having your hands on your leg, you move your front leg straighter. So when you arch, you're going to feel more stretch in the back of that leg. Right, from there, we'll lift all the way up, reaching the arms overhead, and then releasing. And we'll move to the other side. So just a small stance. Your back foot turns out just enough so that you can be balanced and comfortable here. So we'll take a breath in, slight bend in the front knee. The hands either come onto your thigh above your knee or to your chair. And again, you're arching as you inhale, rounding as you exhale. And for most people, the stretch in the back of the leg gets more intense as you arch. It turns off a little as you round. If you want more stretch, that front leg moves straighter. And then bending the front knee slightly, coming all the way up with the breath in. Exhale and release and step back. I'm not sure if you can hear, but my cat thinks he wants something and he's meowing like crazy. It's probably not getting picked up by the mic, but if it is, there's not a dying cat here. There's just a cat, a very silly cat. All right, so for the next one, we'll take the stance a little bit wider. So warrior pose, I think you're probably familiar with warrior. So one foot is forward, the other foot is probably a little bit further back now. And we'll move dynamically. So from warrior one, bending the knee, lifting the arms, to a forward bend. So it could be hands on the thigh, the chair, the ground, or blocks if you have them. You're moving your front leg straighter as you go forward, and you're bending it as you lift. Now, if you still feel a lot of pull in your hamstrings, go ahead and keep your front leg quite a bit bent as you come forward. If you want more stretch, moving the legs straighter. Let's stay in the forward position now. So again, it could be hands on your chair or hands on your thigh. And then think about lifting the heart a little, lifting the tail a little. So you're in a bit of a back bend, even though you're in a forward bend. And if you want to strengthen your back muscles and it doesn't feel like a strain here, think first about squaring the hips. So the leg that's forward, you're going to pull that hip back just a little bit. Press down into your feet. Take the arms out to your sides. Long neck, so you're looking down, not forward. If that's too much, bring your hands back to the leg or to the chair. When you're ready, lift up slowly back into warrior one. And release the arms down. We'll step the feet back together and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So take your time to find the stance that's comfortable for you, a little wider than the last pose. Back foot is turned a little to the side so that your foot can be on the ground. You don't want to be up on your heel. And then from here, bending the front knee, lifting the arms in warrior one. Exhale, maybe moving the leg a little straighter, keeping the spine long as you come forward, any amount. Hands to the knee, to the chair, to the floor, or improvising in whatever way works for you in your own space. Great. Next time you come forward, we can stay for a few breaths. So again, as you're staying, hands on the leg or on the chair, a little lift through the tail and the heart, but you're keeping the head slightly down, not cranking it up. Press into your feet, draw the front hip back a little bit to square the hips and to feel strong in the legs. And then if it's okay for you, you could try arms to the sides. Great. And then from here, we're going to lift all the way up. Exhale, release. And again, we'll step the feet side by side. You can continue with your chair if you've got it there and you find it handy. We're going to do a forward bend. You can also do this letting the body come forward over the legs as much as feels right for you. So take a breath in, coming up. Exhale, bend your knees a little, come forward either to the chair, to the legs, to the floor. Go at your own pace, coming up with the breath in, moving forward as you exhale. And this time when you're upright, go ahead and stay up. Let the arms come to your sides. So we'll do one more main pose here standing, and this is warrior with a twist. So same thing as before, taking one foot forward, the other back and turned to the side. Again, you can use your leg, you can use the ground or your chair to support you in this pose. So we'll start by coming into warrior one and then coming into your version of the forward bend. Right, so here, or hands on the ground. It's a little bit of a stretch, but if you can manage it, great. And see about lengthening the spine. So that little bit of lift through the tail, lengthening through the whole spine, crown of the head reaching forward. And then whichever leg is forward, so I have my right leg forward, I'm going to leave my left hand on the chair. If I had my hands on my leg, I'd leave my left hand on my leg, and I'm going to take the other arm out to the side. And then I'm turning my palm up and bringing the hand to my lower back. And if it feels okay for you, you could also turn your body. So you're lifting the shoulder of the arm behind you, turning your chest towards the leg that's in front. Stay here for a couple of breaths. So it could be hand on the chair, could be hand on the leg. And this arm behind you, if it's comfortable, leave it there. If you want a little bit more, you could try lifting the arm straight up. As long as that's okay with your shoulder, really check in and stay aligned with your intention for the practice. So you can bring the arm slowly down if you've got it up. Bring both hands to the knee, to the chair, so you're turning forward again. We'll lift all the way up. And release. And then we'll switch sides. So lining your feet up comfortably so the back foot is turned out and fully on the ground. Bending the front knee a little. Coming into warrior one. And then your forward bend version. And then really lining up. So making sure the chin is slightly down, crown of the head reaching away from your tail. You're still drawing back a little with the front hip. You can keep as much bend in that knee as you like. And then either keeping your opposite hand on your leg, or it could be the opposite hand stays on the chair. If you want more twist, you can move your hand across to the other side of the chair. And I'm going to keep my hand where it was. And just bring the other hand out to the side, palm up. Hand comes to my lower back. And then I'm going to turn my body towards the front leg, lifting that shoulder. And then the option, if you like, to raise the arm. Finding your balance and breathing here, definitely easier with the chair. So if you're just using your body to support yourself, know that you're going to have a little harder time balancing. When you're ready, you can come back to the forward bend version. And then from there, lifting all the way up, breathing in. Exhaling to release and stepping back. So coming back to our mountain pose, Let's take the arms out to the sides and lift up as if we're gathering our good energy and our intentions, bringing them together and bringing them back to align with our heart. Take a moment, restate your intention for today's class based on our theme of nonviolence. And let's inhale and lift that intention, spreading it around us with an exhale, bringing the arms down. Bring your hands behind your back, either interlace the fingers or keep the arms parallel. Lift the chest, take a breath here. And then as you exhale, let the hands slide down the legs as far as is comfortable. Knees soft, head releasing down. Take a breath here. And then with your next inhale, come all the way up, gathering your intention and energy, bringing it back to the heart. We'll do that again. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale, big circle. Reach behind your back. Whatever version suits you, lifting the heart with the breath in, and then exhaling to come forward. You can stop wherever feels right for you. Let your head release wherever you are and take a breath. And then next inhale, you'll come all the way up, gathering your energy and intention, bringing the palms together and back to the heart. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale and lift. Exhale, circle. Inhale, heart lifting. Exhale, releasing. You can take a few breaths here if you like. Again, it could be elbows or hands on the thighs. It could be releasing further forward or hands to the chair if that's more comfortable for you. And then when you're ready again, we'll come all the way up, breathing in. Reaching the arms overhead and then slowly let them float down to your sides. Before we make our way back to the ground, take a moment here, standing, to notice your body. You might feel some tingling or energy in some parts of your body just from moving around and breathing more deeply. You might feel numb and not feel much at all. Maybe there's all kinds of sensations. Be present with whatever is. Another few breaths. And then go ahead and give everything a little shake. Shake your arms, shake your legs. You can move your head gently. And stand on one leg and shake it out. Stand on the other, shake it out. Just let it all go. You can make some noise if you like. If you've got a space that you feel comfortable, you can just let your voice out a little. It's really releasing to use the voice, although oftentimes feel a little stuck. I know I feel a little stuck sometimes in the throat, but it feels good to just make a little noise. So one more breath. Great. So when you're ready, we're going to come to lie down. We'll do a little bit of movement on the ground, and then we'll be moving into our Shavasana. So make your way to the ground, however you get there, and then come to lie right down. Have your feet on the floor, knees bent, Bring your hands, if it's comfortable for you, to rest somewhere on your body where you can feel a little bit of movement with your breath. And we'll take a minute or so just to settle before we do a bit more movement, and then Shavasana. So feel your breath start to settle. When we're standing up, usually the heart rate's a little bit faster, especially when we're moving. So letting your heart rate come back to normal now, letting the breath be as easeful as possible. And then take your arms and bring them down beside your body, the length of your body. So palms face down by your hips. And then if it's okay with your knees and your ankles, walk your heels in so that they're underneath your knees, close to your sit bones. And we'll work with bridge pose. And you have the option here to either lift the arms as you lift the hips, or you could keep the arms on the ground beside you and just lift the hips. So really a matter of what feels better for your shoulders and what gives you the stretch that feels right for you. You could try it both ways and choose the one that you feel better with today. So start with a breath in. As you exhale, feel your lower back sink down, press into your feet a little bit. And then as you inhale, start to lift the hips. And if you choose to take the arms overhead, you can take them at the same time. And then as you lower the hips, the arms will also come down at the same rate. Usually we do this movement inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you lower. You can follow that breath pattern if you like, if that feels comfortable for you. Or if your breath doesn't feel like quite the right rate for the movement, just do the movement and breathe normally. So don't worry about the perfect form or what you think should be. Just really check in with what feels right. Go with that. And eventually letting the hips settle back down on the ground. I'm going to take the arms out to the sides as we did earlier at the beginning of the class. Reach out with the fingertips. And this time, if it works for you, you might imagine a rainbow going from one hand over the body to the other hand. It could be a rainbow or a beam of light. Just joining your two hands with light, with good energy. And then drawing your arms slowly towards each other as if you're concentrating that light between your hands, coming together, squeezing that light between your hands, bringing the hands to the heart. You can restate your intention here. And then we're going to take that light and lift it overhead, separating the hands. And then spread that light from overhead, bringing the arms down in a half circle towards the feet. The hands obviously won't reach the feet, but sending your light down to your feet. And then you could bring the knees into the chest if you like. Give yourself a little hug. Feel yourself in this little cocoon of light, circling maybe, or any other movement that may feel good to you here. And then when you feel ready, you can bring your feet to the floor and we'll move into Shavasana. So if you want to add an extra layer of clothing or get a blanket or adjust or change your position in any way, now would be a great time to do that. So get yourselves comfortable. Make the little adjustments that you need to be as comfortable as possible. You know, being that you're at home, maybe you have a couch or a bed that you'd rather lie on than the floor, which is perfectly fine. And once you find your way to stillness, take a moment to tune into your breath. There's nothing you need to do with your breath. Let it breathe you. Let it be easeful and natural as much as possible. See if you can tune in a little more to the energy of your exhalation, where we let go of tension, let the body be a little heavier, sinking into the earth with the exhalation. We don't want to completely abandon our awareness of the inhale. So feel the inhale fill you up. But focus just a little more of your attention on making sure your exhale is full, complete, that there's no strain. Let the muscles of your face relax and allow the weight of your head to sink down into the ground or the support that's under you. Soften around your jaw and down the front of your neck. Releasing from the base of the skull down the back of the neck. And allow your shoulders to release. Your arms to let go. Your hands to be soft. There's absolutely nothing you need to do. There's nowhere you need to be. Can you allow your arms to really take that message in? Let go of the need to be busy, the need to produce, to be creative. Let all of that go. You are absolutely perfectly fine, perfectly imperfect as you are right now. You are lovable and acceptable in whatever state you're in. Exhale, let go of the holding around the heart, the rib cage, the belly. See if you can find a little more ease in your lower back. And allow your hips to be heavy. Allow your hips to sink. Can you relax the muscles of your buttocks a little more and drop down into the earth through your pelvis? Let go. Release and relax your thighs, front, back, inner and outer thighs. Relax your knees, your calves, your ankles. Relax your feet. And then if it makes sense for you, you could imagine your whole body breathing in and your whole body breathing out, as though you could breathe through your pores. So when you breathe in, the whole body feels like it gently expands. As you breathe out, the whole body releases. And if that breath visualization works for you, you can stay with that as you listen to a chant. I'll just do part of a longer chant. The description of this chant, called Shraddha Suktam, it means a chant for faith, says it enables us to persevere in the face of even the greatest difficulties. And I know for many, this is a time of challenge and difficulty. Believing that we can work together to move through this can have a profound healing effect. Allowing our emotions to be present without pushing them down or acting them out can help us to move more smoothly through this time. And then forgiving ourselves when we mess up and behave in ways that we don't feel proud of. So listening to the chant as a kind of balm for your whatever may be troubling you. Om Shraddhaya Agni Samidhyate Shraddhaya Vindate Havihi Shraddham Bhagasya Murdhani Vachasa Vedayamasi Priyagashradhe Dataha Priyagashradhe Didasataha Priyam Bhoje Shuyajasu Idam Mauditam Kriti Yatha Deva Ashureshu Shraddha Mukreshu Chakrire Evam Bhojeshu Yajasu Asmakam Uditam Kriti Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Breathing in and out through your whole body. And then start to release the breath, letting it go back to whatever feels like the normal pattern for you. And start to be aware of the room around you. Feel, or if you're outside, the space around you. Maybe notice the sounds, feel the air, the ground. Deepen your breath a little, inviting a bit more energy, maybe adding some movement. If you've decided that you would like to stay and relax a little longer, please do. If you're ready to move on, you can start to bring some movement to your body, stretching and moving in whatever way would feel good. Eventually, if you're ready to come upright, you can roll again to your side. Come back to sit. And once more, we'll take the arms out to the sides. Lift up as if we're gathering our energy and intention, bringing the hands together and drawing that intention and energy into our heart. And you might now create the intention to carry this theme with you of nonviolence into your life, off the mat, maybe with those that you're quarantining with. If you're in isolation with others, a great time to practice nonviolent communication and owning our own feelings. And if you're alone, certainly this theme can be beautifully applied to oneself, speaking to ourselves with kindness, and in any case, forgiving ourselves whenever we don't meet our own expectations. Namaste.